It is always a pleasure to cover a new model from Zelos. New releases these days have all been refined to the point that there are rarely any misses, and criticisms comes down to a sharp edge here or a challenging purchasing process there. It wasn't always like that. The Helmsman marked the birth of Zelos in 2014, and whilst I don't own that model nor have I seen it in person, I'm very sure that 11 years ago this product was not as refined and impressive as it is today. This Helmsman is the third edition of the model. The case is designed to be streamlined and features a CNC machine cutout alongside brushed, polished and sandblasted finishes. Key changes are the use of steel instead of hardened titanium to keep it more affordable this time around, and a beads of rice style bracelet. I'm pretty excited to once again check out a Meteorite dial version of the watch. No question that it's fascinating to handle something that likely spent millions of years flying through space before landing on Earth and consequently on our wrists. Using this material and the way it's prepared means no two dials are the same. So in addition to the numbered edition, there's further exclusivity on offer here. And there's probably no question that this will be one of the first to sell out. But if it's not your cup of tea, there will be an enameled black dial, crystal titanium and a full Lume dial. What we'll also have the pleasure of checking out today is this brilliant beads of rice bracelet, the typically excellent Lume, and some more little surprises along the way, like for instance this looking smallish but is actually not. I hope you will join me for today's rundown of the third edition of the Helmsman. And if you hit that like and subscribe along the way, that will be super appreciated. So let's set sails. Included with your purchase is the usual 3-slot watch box, which we should never take for granted. It is brilliant and I can't believe you get one included, to be honest, at this price point. With the sizing, it looks smaller to me than what it actually is, which is partially down to its voluptuous hips, or rather wide mid-case if you want to be pedantic. It's 40mm wide and just under 47mm lug to lug. Lug width is 20mm and is 12.5mm thick. On bracelet, it's about 170 gram size for me, and we get a 200 meter water resistance. Getting closer to the watch dial, as mentioned, it is a Meteorite dial, and this means tons of texture and fun details. It's even more fun close up since you'll really see so much more with intricate ridges and patterns everywhere. This blue color chosen is classic Zelos, color and fun over somber grays. The applied logo is good quality and in the same intense blue as is the model name at just above the 6. All the indices have the same blue and are filled with Lume, much like the 12 and 6, which we'll come back to. A nice little detail is the color matched date wheel and the same blue on white, which is something you need to get real close to even noticing. But an even more interesting detail is the very intricate hands design being actually semi-skeletonized around the Lume parts. Really very nice, and yet another example of Zelos' amazing approach to doing things their own way. A clearly marked and lumed internal bezel runs off this lovely dial with the classic dive markers of 1 to 15, a Lume pip at 12, and a flat sapphire crystal with plenty of AR coating covers all these lovely details. To me, this is a clear and excellent design from Zelos, and we've not even moved past the dial yet. The case has some nice tricks going for it too, with a mix of surfaces of brushed and polished and a mid-case sandblaster treatment that makes it look so much smaller than the already slim 12.5mm thickness. And I think it all works beautifully. Both crowns are signed with the Zelos Z and lumed of course, and also screw down. And really, for all you microbrand owners, please do the same, since if you can knock an internal bezel with minimum pressure, it makes it basically close to useless. I want to highlight too that the feel of this internal bezel is really good. The cogs translate through your fingers, and I liken it to driving a proper driver's car where the steering wheel communicates every bump in the road. Flipping the watch over, we get a deep ship's wheel for the helmsman, being you, dear owner now, and a logo in the middle once again. Behind here ticks the reliable and classic microbrand choice of the Miyota 9015, which hacks and hand winds, and with an, as mentioned, customized date wheel. A 42-hour power reserve and reasonably accurate specs of worst case scenario -10 to +30 seconds per day, also on offer as per usual. A brilliant bracelet, all polished with screw pins for easy adjustment, sure is pretty on the wrist, and it drapes over every curve with not a hair nipped. Much like my recent Halios review, we get a fantastic solution of a push quick adjust from the bracelet, and once again microbrands find ways to compete and lead the way in very impressive and genuinely useful ways. If I had to pick a fault here, it would be that it only tapers down to 18mm and the clasp is about 20.6 wide, so it is not quite as comfortable to wear as my Halios Seaforth or even Omega Speedmaster bracelet, which in the latter example is perhaps a ridiculous comparison considering the price difference. So what does it look like on other options? Let's do a bit of a strap parade with some examples for you. The mix of BGW9 and C3 is classic Lume class-leading Zelos. Is this yet another home run from Zelos? In my opinion, yes it is. And it's also extra interesting having the pedigree of a version 3 of the very launch model for the brand. Once again, the only downside is setting an alarm and attempting to get one, and that's unfortunately the price to pay for attempted ownership. It is a business model that works, and if you do miss out, relax and wait for them to hit the second-hand market, or even go for another model that's not gone immediately. I feel this particular model with perhaps the full Lume dial will be an early one to sell out, but my fingers are crossed for you, and I wish you all the best in front of whatever screen you'll use to buy your new Helmsman. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.